Hey there guys, and welcome to today's video. So it's been a while since we have done something in our trying series. So I thought today I would share with you this easy watercolor flower technique that I found. So let's start by jumping into the other video and see how she does it.
Okay, so let's dive right in and begin painting these beautiful and simple roses. For the first rose, I'm going to use this rust red color, but feel free to use whatever you'd like. Let's begin forming those C-like shapes. So begin by holding the brush straight up and use the tip of the brush to begin, and then slowly use the belly of the brush to form the C-like shape in the center, and then end it by using the tip of the brush again. I like to paint my rose petals lighter as I move outward, so I'm going to be using more water here and less paint for these next petals. You can do that by dabbing the excess paint on your paper towel. Using the belly of your brush, wiggle your brush slightly to make it more of a random C-like shape. Notice how I do join some petals with each other and intentionally leave some out, some of the petals by itself, so leaving the white lines in between. This allows for some more variety when it comes to your shape and makes it look more natural. Before your paint completely dries, you can also add in some extra paint to certain sections if you wish, especially in the center, to build some more definition. If you've seen me before and haven't subscribed, make sure to do so right now. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Olivia, and I hope you enjoy and subscribe by the end of this.
All right, it is our time to try to do this. So I am just playing right now in my Dylusions large journal and using some, actually I think these are Jane Davenport watercolors because it's her bright ones and I like it. I don't have the same brush that she does, so I'm kind of using the closest thing I had. I think I could have done them better had I had kind of more of a fluffy brush. But you know, we're going to just do the best we can. So I'm starting out with this kind of hot pink color and doing those C's kind of as she called it in the center. The big thing that I learned by definitely watching her is to try to make sure those petals are overlapping so you're not ending up with a bunch of parentheses kind of back to back. And then what I'm also doing that I kind of learned while I was watching was as I go out, so you can see that center part is definitely darker. And then I'm just continuing using that same color, but diluting it down as I go in order to get a lighter wash of my watercolor. I'm also doing or trying to, with this thinner brush, to use what she calls the body of the brush. So starting on the tip, then flattening the brush out to give a wide wash of the color, and then lifting it back up to keep it thin on the end. Also doing that little, when I get to those outer petals, doing kind of what she called the wiggle. So just giving it, instead of keeping it a straight swoop C, kind of doing it a wiggle. That's my first rose, and I think that's pretty good. If you guys have watched my channel at all, you know that I don't consider myself a watercolor person. I think I always joke that I'm too much of a control freak to do watercolor, because it does take a little bit of kind of being free and letting it go, and just letting sometimes the paint meld and mix together how it wants to. So, but this I think turned out really great. So I'm going to try it a couple more times and just kind of keep playing with this. She called it C shapes, or I have seen other people call it kind of more a parenthesis shape. So either one, it kind of works. So I'm starting with that dark purple in the middle, and then just like on the other one, as I go out, I'll do like, I don't know, probably like two-ish rows in one hue, in one wash, and then add water so that it continues to dilute the color down. A couple things to always keep in mind when you're dealing with watercolor paper is obviously it is going to warp your paper, especially if you're using a thin one, particularly like if you're doing it in a journaling Bible. But I don't necessarily mind that it warps the paper. I don't mind the crunchy paper. Some people hate it, but that's okay. Also, big thing is to make sure that you are keeping your water clean. Water in watercoloring, like what you're cleaning your brush off in, can muddy your project super fast. So just be conscious of just checking your water every so often and refreshing it if it needs it. So that's my purple one. I really like that. I did find, and this could just be me, and I would love to know your thoughts down below. I did find that the bigger I tried to make my flower, I just dropped something. The sloppier it got. So I don't know if I just was trying too hard. You'll see in this blue one that I kind of lost my bend and my thickness of my brush of using, like she called it, the body of the brush, and it got really big, and I feel like I went a little crazy. So the pink one, I think for me with this style is the perfect size. I'm kind of looking at it, and it's about, I don't know, about 3 inches or so, but I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, especially I'm someone who's not a watercolor person. I wouldn't consider myself an abstract kind of person. And I will say, this video, I did not speed it up because I really wanted you guys to have a sense of the patience it takes and the time it takes to make one of these flowers. But once you kind of figure it out, it's fun. You can see my blue one. Yeah, bless his heart. I mean, we're going to use the southern term for that's bad. Bless his heart. That blue one is not my fave. My pink and my purple one, though, I absolutely love. I think they turned out fantastic. So that's kind of what I was playing with today. And you can kind of see that it takes a little getting used to and the right way to kind of angle your brush. And I do think if I, like I said earlier, if I had more of a brush like she did, I think it would have helped a little bit. But this one got the job done. And I'm just going to go in and just play and add in some leaves. I like the idea that you can see and something she talked about having that white space because it automatically adds those highlights in so you don't have to think about it. So I'm kind of doing that same thing with the leaves and just leaving a little bit of white peeking through to give that illusion of a highlight, a drop of water, whatever it kind of just naturally looks like. And I love this color green. I have no idea what the color is, but it's from Jane Davenport. I'll put the link down below so you guys can check it out. And so I just thought it was fun. I was just like I said, I was playing, so I wanted to kind of pop those in. And to give it a little bit of contrast, I'm adding just, while it's still wet, a little of that kind of spring green, just to give some balance and give just some extra fun color. So I think they're pretty good. I'm not mad at it. That blue one, bless his heart, but you know, there's one in every bunch of flowers. So I thought it would be fun then to take this and let's interpret that in our Bible. So let's hop over to our illustrating Bible that I just got. It is the Gospels edition, and we are going to hop into Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, where we are in the Beatitudes, and we are using the scripture that it says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." And I just really wanted that to kind of be my focus for this project. And so I'm going to put on some happy, maybe find some relaxing music like she did, and I'll be back to chat with you guys towards the end. So you can see my flowers, I think, turned out pretty good. I'm not mad at them. And so these letters are actually from my Etsy shop. They're printables. I started to put them down and then realized that I did not have enough room because I wanted to do the idea of be comforted, but putting them straight across wasn't going to work. So instead, I decided to pull them up and do them kind of more in a, let's say, wonky, I don't know what you really want to call it, title across. Like I said, these are available in my Etsy shop, and you can get them. They're available in one listing as a PDF and as a PNG file that is Cricut ready, so that it will cut it out exactly how you see it here in these little squares. And of course, in Cricut, you can adjust the sizes. These are pretty large, but I was going for simple, and since I was doing a small title, I thought that this would be okay and would work best. So I am loving the way this turned out. I love my flowers. I think they're great. My little leafies and my vinies there. I'm using the same blue that I used in my blue flower to highlight that verse in the Beatitudes. And then I wanted to make sure I added in that idea of that it's okay to mourn. It's that blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And I wanted to make it personal. And so I actually wrote, it's okay to mourn, you will be, and then the big, you will then be comforted in those big letters. I kind of wish I would have used a chunkier pen doing this, but that's okay. Sometimes you just got to do the best you can. And I really seriously jacked up the word mourn, so don't look at that. So I'm going to finish this up, add some scribbles like I always do because I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you learned a lot and realized that watercolors and flowers do not have to be intimidating. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time on the Creative Life Studios. Have an amazing day, guys.